Sydney. So Romania, Calancia. Now this is the young man who you said, you know, just pulled this straight over his head with bags to spare.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this extra 5 kilos does to him.
The world record in the snatch, 181 kilos, so some way to go. It's held by Azanidze, Georgia, who's of course yet to start. Well, you were spot on, David. There's Nicu Vlad in the little window bottom left there, the head coach for the Romanians, former Olympic champion. And Vlad, pretty pleased with this young man.
Yes, very nice.
This is very much one of the men, the new generation that Nicu's trying to bring on. Now Quiroga, so far so good. Now another 5 kilos on the bar. Quiroga 84-82. So this 165 wouldn't really move him up the table. He'd just sort of stays where he is.
He's going to have to work with this. The 160 wasn't easy.
First failure of the evening. Mind you,
yes, classic case of the weight just being too heavy. Got nowhere near enough height in that first phase to lock that bar out overhead. So, and now
Mark Huster.
Yes.
So Mark Huster with Frank Mantek, the mastermind of German weightlifting, and he's got a minute, and he's coming in to open up at 167.5 kilos. So Huster well inside his best.
This is the best of 177.5. Always gets really fired up. Checks the clock now.
Needs a good one to start. That is exactly what we needed. Mark Huster opens his account. He's looking very focused, very businesslike. Istanbul 1994, the only World Championship gold medal he's ever won. And when I say that, I mean overall gold medal. Now the focus moves to the Russian, little known Russian, I have to say, David. Ajanbek Ediev, second in his national championships a couple of years ago, but he's done nothing really in the last 12 months, nothing on the international stage. Well, this will tell us how good he is. Very deep, but strong enough to drive up. And Ediev, 84 kilos 36. So in the sort of middle range of the competitors.
Look at that deep squat.
Well, Gutowski has resisted the temptation to go for another 5 kilo increase, just a minimum 2.5. In this men's 85 kilo competition, 187.5 pounds. These men weighing in at the order of 13.25 stone. Plenty of time for the pole. Just needs to organize himself. No mistakes so far. Still 4 men to start, including the world champion, including the European champion.
Well,
so close there, David.
Yeah, 67, definitely the right decision.
Still Kashatrian to begin, and Ishanka. Nazarinia and Azanitsi, but one or two are going to lift out, I think. Booster will bide his time for a moment, I fancy, David. Now he's got that first one in.
Yes, very, very important for Mark to stay as close as possible. I mean, he's obviously not in his top form today, but in training he said he'd done 175 kilos, so I would think he'll be building towards that and stay as close to people like Azanitsi and Nazarini as possible, and then use that big clean and jerk. Pretty good snatches.
Yes, 167.5 kilos safely achieved by the 21-year-old Romanian Valerio Canancia, and his potential now being realised at senior level. Got to think, David, that he's going to continue to be a threat providing he stays fit and well. There's Nazarinia just in foreground on the right there. That's the Iranian warm-up platform. Very important to Iran. They really want this title. Gardev, who's already opened his account with a successful 165, now taking 5 kilos to go to 170. As we see Nazarinia, who looks to me, David, he's going to be out pretty soon.
Well, the bar's on 170. Now Nazarinia was down. This is interesting because Nazarinia was down to start on 170. Now this is Georgi Gardev's second lift, which means that Nazarinia must be going higher than 170. Otherwise he'd have been called out for his first, because you have to take all the first attempts before the second attempt.
Just to remind you of our website, www.weightlifting.de. You'll find our email addresses and links to Club Eurosport. We'd love to hear from you. Four seconds, 3 seconds. Left it very tight, arguably left it a bit too late. There is a clock right in front of him, which he can see, but that was left a little bit too late, I think, David, and then suddenly it all got a bit rushed.
Yes, I don't really think that Gardev is in top form for whatever reason. As we said earlier, has a best of 180, so today is not going to be his day.
Well, let's see if the young Bulgarian is going to outdo the more experienced man. He's coming out for his second attempt. So, with Canancia, the 21-year-old Romanian, here's another 21-year-old. These are men for the future. Dobrev ranked 5th in the world coming into these championships. Half a minute to do it. No hesitation. Two good lifts. And that's much better than the Goodwill Games. He snatched 167.5. So already he's 2.5 above that mark. Gardev on the recovery trail. Now he's got to get this, David, if he wants to stay in touch. Otherwise he's going to disappear too far back.
Yes, and of course he's not known for his strong clean and jerk. It's more of a snatch specialist and not doing very well at that today.
Now remember, he ran very close to the clock last time. He's got 20 seconds. He's in much better shape now. Well, not the shape he wanted to be in, and he's disconsolate, isn't he? There's no life in him at all.
Well, that's 15. He's left on 165, which is 15 kilos down on his best. So